Welcome to Game News for February 27, 2014. We're your guide on the safari into the bizarre world of digital entertainment. I'm Chris, this is Grover.
Dude!
And look out! A wild news story has appeared. Mike, we choose you!
Where are we? After about a year of votes and deliberations, Microsoft has finally chosen their new CEO, a position left open for the gaming division after Don Matrick left for Zynga mid-last year. This position was temporarily filled by Julie Larson-Green. And the winner is, drumroll please, Stephen Elop. He's the former Nokia boss who became part of Microsoft when they bought Nokia a few months ago. The interesting thing is that Elop made some statements about the same time he was coming on board that if he was named a Microsoft CEO, he would seriously consider selling off or closing any major sections of the company to make Microsoft stronger. One such division he mentioned was the Xbox. Now, I find it highly doubtful that any of those remarks will see any kind of fruition or even be mentioned in the future, but it is interesting nonetheless.
I highly doubt that the board will even let him consider that ever.
They're not going to give it up, no.
And a follow-up to the Candy Crush saga, see what I did there? As King.com withdrew its U.S. trademark application for the word candy. They still have the trademark in the EU and continue to battle the Stoic Studios over the word saga and Banner Saga game, but at least for now the word candy is safe.
And more layoffs yet again, this time at Sony's Santa Monica Studios, famed largely for the God of War series. But despite Sony confirming the layoffs were part of their own streamlining and sorting staff out between studios as needed, however, an added bit is the brand new unannounced IP that has been in work since 2010 has been cancelled in the process. Via Twitter, former lead designer Jonathan Hawkins explained no one saw the layoffs coming and were making headway on the mysterious game.
And some interesting news down the pipe. Two movies based around the battles between Sega and Nintendo in the early 90s for video game supremacy called Console Wars is in development. One will be a documentary, while the other will be a full production fictional recreation based on the book of the same name. Unfortunately, both of these are being headed up by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who personally to me are what to comedy movies that Uwe Boll is to video game movies.
Green Hornet?
Yeah.
That was a horrible movie.
I know, I thought Pineapple Express was funny. But just that one. After its teaser revealed that a new Duke Nukem action RPG, Mass Destruction, was in the works from 3D Realms and Interceptor Entertainment, Gearbox took notice. A trademark and copyright infringement lawsuit has been filed since Gearbox has been the new home to Duke Nukem ever since they took over and finally finished the legendary development hell that was Duke Nukem Forever in 2010. It's uncertain the fate of Mass Destruction as 3D Realms is trying to avoid court by acknowledging Gearbox owns the franchise's rights.
Hoping for getting your hands on an Oculus Rift VR headset soon, you'll have a bit of a wait as somehow one of the parts they use are no longer production from the company they were using, so they will be far short the numbers. Plus, the popular headset will have itself suspended in each region once November's dwindle until they can find suitable replacements for the now missing components. How the hell do you do that kind of mistake for that?
I don't know, especially for something that is that popular. That is a very in-demand peripheral right now.
It is. Noteworthy for old-time Diablo fans, Blizzard has implemented the Reaper of Souls pre-expansion patch, aka the patch with Loot 2.0. This will finally catch the PC version of Diablo 3 up with its console counterpart. So if you own Diablo 3 and you weren't real happy with it back when it launched, give it another try now that the patch is there and see if that gives you what you've been wanting from the game.
And now for some rapid fires! And AZ Studio Bohemia will have its famed survival games creator Dean Rocket Hall leaving the team before the end of the year to open a brand new yet named studio in New Zealand where he says he'll be making a title or two that will have, quote, similar DNA to DayZ. And according to a list acquired by the Washington Post, there will be postal stamps somewhere in between now and 2016 celebrating video games. Since this is an unconfirmed list, it just lists concepts that's been approved. There's no telling what exactly the stamps will be. And Activision's Call of Duty Elite service is closing this week. The premium online subscription service launched in 2011 and was a means of enhancing the Call of Duty experience, including YouTube and Facebook integration with special tournaments and more. And also coming May, Nintendo will also be shutting down their online services on most everything Wii, DS, and DSi, and that'll all be gone, so get your Smash Brothers matches over with now. Reminder, this does not affect the Wii U or 3DS, or services like the shops or third-party services like Netflix. And the PS4 finally launched in Japan with suitably satisfactory sales of well over 300,000 in the opening weekend, which is way more than 3 times what the PS3 sold back in its opening weekend. And while we we've known this for a while. Persona 5 is definitely coming to the US in 2015, along with updated Persona 4 Arena, the rhythm game Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and 3DS exclusive Persona Q, the latter of which will be out this fall. And lastly, speaking of JRPGs, NIS's Demon Gaze for the PS Vita is slated for late April in the West, and now they've even released that the Skya alumni Etna, Flan, Sicily, Asagi, and Prinny will all be free DLC for a short time after the launch. And that was game news for February 27, 2014, full of snippets from the fairly busy, if mostly unexciting week, but rest assured, next week will be just as full of news from the world's biggest entertainment industry.
We're good to go.
See you all next week, folks.
See you next time.